Investing in Web3 games was such a tough thing to do. It's good money in the bull run because we were basically participating in all the Ponzies. So GameFi as a vertical is honestly not prudent.
So when you began to identify GameFi is not a sort of lucrative or legit domain to invest your time and capital,
It's just what the market told us.
and then you ended up with AI after the GPT pop-up.
Yes. We quickly realized that purely from narrative point of view, it will be massive for the next 5 to 10 years.
Born in Malaysia, Weekee earned degrees from Imperial College and London Business School. He launched his career in private equity with Creator and Anacat, then spent several years at BCG. In 2019, he co-founded DIM Digital Marketing, and in 2020, he went deeper into AI with Idaro. Now he's the co-founder of Virtuals Protocol, a $2.5 billion platform on Base, enabling anyone to create, co-own, and monetize autonomous AI agents.
Volatility is the nature of crypto, right? The only way to predict its future is by looking at the builders within the ecosystem. You don't have to care about price. How many good builders are in the ecosystem that are still building will predict or tell you what's the price going to be in the next sort of 12 to 24 months.
Hello and welcome to Build It Up, where AI meets crypto, technology meets humanity, and East meets West. I'm Bill. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. My guest this week is Weekee. Weekee is a co-founder and co-contributor of Virtuals Protocol, a leading decentralized platform that enables the co-ownership and management of AI agents for diverse applications, particularly in gaming and entertainment. Hey Weekee, how are you? Thank you for joining us today.
I'm good, Bill. Yeah, doing well.
Awesome. Could you do a very quick intro about your personal background and how you ended up with AI and crypto?
Yeah, I got into crypto in 2016 when I was still in uni. That was 2016. And I then graduated doing management consulting at BCG for 2.5 years. And we got into crypto again in 2021 during the metaverse phase. So we raised money by launching a coin called PathDAO token and invest in sort of different Web3 games.
Sorry, so that is a sort of a VC protocol?
Yes,
Or
it's a DAO. It's a DAO that, we raise money and we invest in different games on behalf of the DAO members. While we were investing, we also realized that we have a bit more time. So we started doing incubation. And so we were incubating different applications. And that was during sort of the GPT phase, right, in 2023. That's when we realized that AI is going to be huge. What happened then is investing in Web3 games was such a tough thing to do.
why do you think investing in Web3 game is so tough? I recall, back to the last bull run, you as a studio, guild studio, right? Plus the investments, you should did a pretty good job. But why
Yeah.
in the end you feel it's tough?
Yeah, so it's good money in the bull run because we were basically participating in all the Ponzies.
Yeah.
Infinity, there were a couple of horse racing game, and then you have Stepan, right? I mean, at one point we have
Yes.
like a lot of members who are like just walking to make money. But on top of farming, we were also like a VC investing in Web3 games. Some of our portfolio like Ganzilla, Fusionist are both listed on Binance, but even that, the cliff and the valuation is actually pretty poor. So yeah, I think it's just a very tough space to invest in. So GameFi as a vertical is honestly not proven.
When you began to identify, GameFi is not a sort of lucrative or legit domain to invest your time and capital.
It's just what the market told us, right? So
Okay.
every
I
single
guess during this bear market,
Yes,
after last bull run.
during the bear market, exactly. Every single hype coin in 2021, when they TGE, the performance is just poor. And there's no clear product market fit, right? I think people start to realize that when we talk about GameFi, the fi is the main dish. Game is just whatever narrative, right? And so it's just very forceful.
Yeah, makes sense. And then you ended up with AI after the GPT.
Yes. We quickly realized that AI will be really, purely from narrative point of view, it will be massive for the next 5 to 10 years. Like the only narrative that matters, basically. And at the same time, as we invest in games, we realize that all the NPCs in games are just bots. What if you can bring LLM to the NPCs in games?
Sorry, what does NPC stand for?
I think it's non-player control. Like basically,
Ah,
all
okay.
the
Basically, the robotic role in the game, right?
Correct. It's all bots, right? But we realized that with LLMs, you can now bring personality to all these different bots. So now the game become more fun, right? So instead of playing the game once, you now can play 100 times because the bots have personality and memory. Um,
Yeah.
that was the reason why we got into AI back almost 1.5 years ago. Yeah,
Okay. But I
yeah.
recall, now virtual become a AI infrastructure, right? So could you
Yes.
talk about how you come up with the idea of the virtual, based on the AI narrative, and what would be the 15 seconds introduction to a normie player or user?
Yeah, we call virtuals a society of AI agents. And what we believe is that just like human, we focus on our domain, right? Like, you are good in investing, I'm good in building. And so then we collaborate.
Mm,
It's the same thing we are building here where we have the infrastructure where AI agents can be specialized. So you can be very good at making music, you can be very good at just producing lyrics, and now you can collaborate. That's basically the one-liner thesis, a society of AI agents.
On top of that, what does it mean to the developers? And also, what does it mean to the users? For me, I'm just let's say, a normie Web3 player and Web2 user. What does virtual protocol mean to me? How I can play around with that?
There are three key audience here. One is the founder, right? So the founder built AI agents. Second are the investors. So like
Mm,
retail, normie, we invest in AI agents because we tokenize all the AI agents. The third is the end consumers. So the end consumers who buy music from AI agents, for example. I want to make it very clear that I have no intention, no interest to serve the end consumers.
mm,
Okay?
okay.
We only want to focus on the founders who build and tokenize AI agents, and we want to focus on the retail investors who invest in AI agents.
Mm.
We will let the founder decide how they want to do their go-to market on selling their music of their AI agent music to the end consumers. We let them do that. We don't help them with that. That's basically the construct.
How you come up to serve the retail investor as well? I mean, it sounds like you enable the developer and also the asset, but you let them to serve the end user in the end, right?
Exactly. Exactly. The key thesis here is we believe AI agents are productive assets because if AI agents sell a lot of music, it makes money. If it's productive asset, it should be tokenized, just like any stock, right? And now our platform basically allow the retail investors, we call it the degens in virtuals, which is virgens, to invest in all these productive assets that we tokenize.
Okay. Could you share with us maybe one or two example of the use case which you found that with a strong product market fit and very unique to the end users?
I mean, like the flagship on virtuals is AI XBT. We call it like a anthem of AI agents, right? He has 500,000 followers on Twitter, constantly churning out content about anything related to crypto narratives. And so now, as a retail, I can follow AI XBT and basically just follow his calls, for example. That's one. The second is Luna. Luna has almost 1 million followers on TikTok, live streaming and interacting with her fans. And recently, she's pivoting to creating music videos. So Bill, like I can let you try the alpha, right? You can literally type a paragraph on, like, let's say I am building this pay-fi whatever, and can you give me a 1 minute marketing video?
Mm.
Luna can create almost like a music video, 1 minute with music, lyrics, scripting, video, everything out in 1 minute. So that's like another one.
Awesome. So sounds like you become a virtual app store, and a lot of developer can come to your place to develop their own product. But how does it correlated with a token? I mean, let's say the GPT, they have GPT store, right?
Yeah.
And you will come up with some graph origination, writing tool, legal
Yeah.
knowledge agent, etc. Sounds like on that part you kind of live like a little bit similar with GPT store. But I guess your flywheel definitely got enablement by the token issuing as well, and as same as the founders got enablement. Could you elaborate how do they sort of enabled by the token economics and token issuance?
Yeah. Good question, Bill. I think coming back to what I said, GPT Store focus on the founder and the end consumers.
Mm.
We are not GPT stores because we don't serve the end consumers. You should think of us as almost like a Binance, actually, where
Mm.
the founders launch an agent and now the retail investors get to invest in the token of the agents. What we think is helpful here is as the investors invest in the agent tokens, they then start becoming the end consumers as well. Because
Mm.
I bought the token now, maybe I will explore, right? But that's not our primary focus. It is really up to the founder how they want to connect the value of their agents to the token that they issue. We don't enforce, but generally, if you want to increase the value of the tokens that you use to launch, you will want to bring more utility to it.
Yes.
But let them decide. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious, one question would be how much percentage you think there are overlap between a user with a retail investor for your developer's product as of now?
It's funny because today the ones that are mildly successful, the overlap is definitely more than 50%.
Mm.
Basically, it means that you launch something that a degen would use himself. For example, AIXBT. If you launch something that is like music or whatever, it's cool, but it's much harder because you are trying to do two audience at the same time, right?
Okay, and on top of that, how many token are, how much percentage of the token are just a kind of meme token, and
Yeah.
how much percentage are like, meme plus utility?
Yeah.
And are there any, meme plus utility plus, sort of dividend token, like, with some sort of
Yeah.
economic benefit? What do you
Yeah.
see, especially, for your successful samples over there?
We have around 17,000 tokens, or they call themselves AI agent.
Mm.
But we have a group chat where there are real builders and we have 200 of them. So that's around 1%. So 1% actually build like products, right? And the rest is just because it's permissionless, like it costs $100 to launch, right? So people just launch.
Yes, yes. So most of them are hustlers.
They're hustlers and it's basically a meme coin. Now, of the 200 people who are building, how many are like giving out dividend? The true answer is zero today. At least from my angle, I haven't seen one yet. I think we're still at the very early stage where a lot of time they just give the product out for free without revenue. And this is where I want to talk about this, Bill. We actually encourage the team not to think about revenue too quickly because all the coins or tokens that's launched on virtuals has a 1% trading fee. So that 1% trading fee, 70% of it goes back to the founder. So in a way, the founder is not in a rush to create revenue for their product, right? You want to focus on growth. You want to focus on iteration. And on average, we are seeing teams to be making around 2,000 to 10,000 USD a day from trading fees, right? The team, the founders. So they don't really need like revenue so quickly. They don't even need to raise money from VCs because they just launch a coin and they make 2,000 to 10,000 USD a day from trading fees to sustain their building.
Exactly, the trading fee actually originated from your protocol, but you share back to the founders?
It's smart contract trade. So
Okay.
1%, 70% to the founder, 30% to the protocol.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know whether it's design, but sounds like, coincidentally, you share 30% of the economic benefit, right? Exactly like the Apple Store takes the 30% of the
Yes.
subscription. This is the design or it's a coincidence?
I think it's the amount where it feels fair, right? Like the
Feels
founder
fair,
feels
yeah.
fair. And at the same time, we want to bring more value to the virtual
Yeah.
token as well.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like a lot of platform versus the creator business model in the end ended up with 80-20 or 70-30 split. Yeah, sounds
Exactly.
like this is a fair number to most of the business model.
I mean, obviously they will still complain about why is it not 90%, but yeah, it's a power game.
Exactly. You mentioned, you are providing a lot of new products in this season. And could you talk about what will be the product pipeline for virtual in next few months? And how do you see virtual in next 3 years?
There are two things I want to talk about. Today, virtual tokens has only one utility, which is to be the base pair of all the agent tokens. So all the agent tokens launch, instead of being paired with Ethereum or Solana, is paired with virtual tokens. So that's base asset utility. What we are launching in this quarter is called agentic economy, where agents to agents start paying each other money. And that money is virtual tokens. So that will be the second utility of virtual tokens. If I focus on trading and you focus on building, we need to work together. because we are specialized in our way. And when we work together, we need to pay each other money in terms of collaboration. And when we launch this, we call it Agent Commerce Protocol. When we launch, it's almost like a supply chain, right? Where you have someone who wants a music video. The top agent or the CEO will take the order, but he don't do everything himself, right?
Mm.
He will get a supply chain of agents under him where he say, hey, you focus on making music, you focus on the lyrics, you focus on the storyline, and then he package everything together and give it back to the end users who pay for the money for the music. So that component, when agent A pay to the supplier A, to the supplier B, to the supplier C, it use our protocol with virtual tokens as the currency. So that's basically the first product that we are launching. And to summarize, it's very simple. 1 + 1 + 1 more than 3. That is the one-liner, right?
So it sounds like you are providing a sort of automated transaction settlement layer to the Web3 and AI domain. And I wonder, for this one, are you gonna restrict with basically focus on your own ecosystem, or you might also make this product neutral and to enable all the the layer one open network over there, go to Ethereum, other chain, because it sounds like this is a very important infrastructure, right, for the automated transaction for the AI agents in the future.
Yeah, it's open standard SDK. So anyone is SDK, so you could just interact with it permissionlessly. We are only doing it on base at the moment, but we could expand to more chain. The truth is, Bill, like even Google launched their own agent-to-agent protocol. Like
Oh, really? When?
I think few weeks ago, and many people recognize that this is gonna be huge, right?
Mm.
Like it's almost like a Swift that enable people, the agents to pay, right?
They did this on Web 2 environment or Web 3?
In Web 2. But the hardest thing is actually bootstrapping the real activity. But in terms of like having agents as liquidity, which is why we think we are in a good position because our ecosystem has the most number of AI agents builders, right, to kickstart this protocol. Yeah.
Awesome. So that
Yeah.
would be your near-term development. And on top of that, I
Yeah.
understand, crypto is a very cyclical industry, and
Yeah.
but in the end, how do you design or anticipate the future of a virtual, let's say, in next 36 months?
The truth is, like, I don't know. And I agree with you. The volatility is the nature of crypto, right? But the way I see it is that an ecosystem like us or any L1, the only way to predict its future is by looking at the builders within the ecosystem, right? You don't have to care about price. How many good builders are in the ecosystem that are still building will predict or tell you what's the price going to be in the next sort of 12 to 24 months. Like I said, today we have literally 200 builders within the ecosystem, like building their own agents. And as we speak, we are quickly expanding that number too. So as long as we have good builders building permissionless, but at the same time, every time they tokenized is having virtual token as the base pair with the ACP we are launching. That's how I think about it. So that's why in my mind every day is actually thinking about, if I'm a good founder, why would I launch on virtuals versus Solana or other chain or even crypto, right? If we can solve this, I think that's it. That's all we need to focus on.
Yeah. So it sounds like, rather than to design the future, but you just want to spend the quality time with talented developers, right? So in that case, your ecosystem will tell you, what kind of roadmap would be your ideal path.
Exactly. I mean, everything is so emergent. It sounds pretty dumb to try to predict like even next 6 weeks, to be honest.
Yeah, 6 weeks ago, I thought, maybe the trade war will be a perpetual thing, but sounds like, they change a lot in past 48 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, and come back to your journey as a founder. I understand you have been through more than 2 cycles. Are there any most challenging moment for you as a founder and CEO?
My co-founder and I, we are very optimistic people. We just think that there will always be bull market eventually. So even
Okay.
during bear market, we're like optimistic.
Even during the FTX moment?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're kind, right? Like, but the problem is actually your employees, right? Because they might not be as optimistic as you, right? And so how do you encourage them? That would be probably the largest sort of challenge that we had in the past. But obviously, virtuals now have decent traction, so that sort of instill confidence in the team members that, if we could come out from bear market and do something great, now we have no fear anymore, right? I mean, we can do even better stuff from now. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And the last question would be like, could you give advice to your younger self or any, younger generation who just freshly graduate, and what would be your advice to them?
I mean, specifically to crypto, for me, it's just about trying everything, man. Honestly, a lot of product design that we have at Virtuals come from our own experience as a degen, as an airdrop farmer, as a guy who play games or trying to farm different protocols and just like do trading, right? And so all these sort of small experience help when we design Virtuals, because we are designing the protocol for founders, but also for the degens. Even if you don't become a founder, just by trying new things is always, just be curious is always good. Yeah.
Are you still sort of, test, use, experience a lot of new product in the
Yes.
Web3, even as a, very busy founder?
No, I specifically carve out time to try. It's important to keep trying new things because otherwise we'll just be a boomer, right? So we have to keep
Yes.
trying. Yeah.
Do you try all the AI related product, or you try like, pretty much everything as long as it's a Web3 innovation?
Yeah. Anything that obviously AI specifically, but mainly
Mm,
stuff that like you can potentially make money. So like,
yeah.
every time on Twitter people say, "Oh my God, this thing is making me money." It's like, okay, let me just check it out, right? It's good to try.
Yeah, that's very well said. I understand, a lot of company, regardless it's in Web3 or in other domain, when they get bigger and the organization become, sort of a distant from the market, distant from the user experience. And all the developers, they try to follow the KPI and to develop some product,
Yeah.
which maybe ultimately no one use.
I agree. That's very scary. Actually,
Mm,
that was what happened in January or February for us, where, I was pulled into so many meetings every day that I don't have time to use product myself. Like,
mm.
even our own product, I wasn't even using, right? So it was very bad. So these days, I just outsource. Like, I don't have meetings these days. My calendar is like free. I just spend time on Twitter talking to the community, and like I just do internal meetings on products. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very insightful advice. Basically, you want to recommend the young generation really to experience the life, right? Use the products they would like, and then their career or their, sort of unique proposition of their product will be inspired from those experience.
Yes. 100%.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you, Weekee. Highly appreciate, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks.
Well, that's all for today for Build It Up. We will be back next week with another inspiring guest. Subscribe now so you will never miss our amazing interviews. Until next time, this is Bill. Goodbye and take care.